Hello everyone, my name is shannoncrossing and welcome back to another YouTube video. Now today I will be doing Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Now if you do like this kind of video, make sure to like and also comment if you want me to make any more like this. Also, if you haven't already, hit that notification bell so I know that you like watching my videos. Okay. I'm going to start reading the story now. It's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs by Brothers Grimm. At the beginning of the story, a queen sits sewing at an open window during a winter snowfall when she pricks her finger with her needle, causing 3 drops of red blood to drip into the freshly fallen white snow on the black windowsill. Then she says to herself, "How I wish that I had a daughter that had skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as black as ebony." Sometime later, the queen gives birth to a baby daughter whom she names Snow White, but the queen dies in childbirth. However, it is different in the 1812 version of the story, where the queen does not die and later behaves in the way that the stepmother does. A year later, Snow White's father remarries. His new wife is a very beautiful and also vain, wicked woman who practices witchcraft. The new queen possesses a magic mirror. When she asks every morning, "Magic mirror on the wall, who the fairest of them all?" the mirror always tells the queen that she is the fairest. The queen is always pleased with that response, because the magic mirror never lies. But when Snow White is 7 years old, her fairest surpasses that of her stepmother, which the queen asks her mirror. It tells her that Snow White is the fairest. This gives the queen a great shock. She becomes envious, and from that moment on, her heart turns against Snow White, whom the queen grows to hate increasingly with time. Eventually, the angry queen orders a huntsman to take Snow White into the forest and kill her. As proof that Snow White is dead, the queen also wants him to return with her heart, which she will consume in order to become immortal. The huntsman takes Snow White into the forest, but after raising his dagger, he finds himself unable to kill her. When Snow White learns of her stepmother's evil plan, she tearfully begs the huntsman, "Spare me this mockery of justice. I will run away into the woods and never come home again." After seeing the tears in the princess's eyes, the huntsman reluctantly agrees to spare Snow White and brings the queen the heart of an animal instead. After wandering through the forest for hours, Snow White discovers a tiny cottage belonging to a group of 7 dwarfs. Since no one is at home, she eats some of their tiny meals, drinks some of their wine, and then tests all of the beds. Finally, the last bed is comfy enough for her and she falls asleep. When the dwarfs return home, they immediately become aware that there has been a burglar in the house, because everything in their house is disordered. Prowling about frantically, they head upstairs and discover the sleeping Snow White. She wakes up and explains to them that her stepmother's attempt to kill her, and the dwarfs take pity on her and let her stay with them in exchange for a job as a housemaid. They warn her to be careful when home alone, and to let no one in while they're working in the mountains. Snow White grows into an absolutely lovely, fair and beautiful young queen. When the queen, who believes she got rid of Snow White a decade earlier, asks her mirror once again, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" The mirror tells her that not only is Snow White still the fairest of them all, but she is also currently hiding with the dwarfs. The queen is furious when she learns that Snow White used her wits to fake her death and decides to kill the girl herself. First, she appears at the dwarf's cottage disguised as an old peddler and offers Snow White colourful, silky, laced bodylints as a present. The queen laces her up so tightly that Snow White faints. The dwarfs return just in time to revive Snow White by loosening the lace. Next, the queen, dressed up as a comb sewer, and convinces Snow White to take the beautiful comb as a present. She strokes Snow White's hair with the poisoned comb. The girl is overcome by the poison from the comb, but again is revived by the dwarfs when they remove the comb from her hair. Finally, the queen disguises herself as a farmer's wife and offers Snow White a poisoned apple. Snow White is hesitant to accept it, so the queen cut the half of the apple and ate the white, harmless half, and giving the red poisonous half to Snow White. The girl eagerly takes a bite and falls into a coma, or appearing to be dead, causing the queen to think she has finally succeeded. This time, the dwarfs are unable to revive Snow White and are assuming that the queen has finally killed her. They place her in a glass casket as a funeral for her. The next day, a prince stumbles upon a seemingly dead Snow White lying in her glass coffin during a hunting trip. After hearing her story from the seven dwarfs, the prince is allowed to take Snow White to her proper resting place back at her father's castle. All of the southern while Snow White is being transported, one of the servants of the prince trips and loses his balance. This dislodges the piece of the poisonous apples from Snow White's throat, magically reviving her. The prince is overjoyed with this miracle, and he declares his love for the now alive and well Snow White, who, surprised to meet him face to face, humbly accepts his marriage proposal. The prince invites everyone in the land to their wedding except the Snow White stepmother. The queen, believing herself finally to be rid of Snow White, asks again her magic mirror, "Who is the fairest in the land?" The mirror says that there is a bride of a prince who is fairer than she. The queen decides to visit the wedding and investigate. Once she arrives, the queen becomes frozen with rage and fears when she finds out that the prince's bride is a stepdaughter. Snow White herself, the furious queen, tries to show chaos and attempts to kill her again. But the prince recognizes her as a threat to Snow White, and he learns the truth from his bride. As a punishment for the attempted murder of Snow White, the prince orders the queen to wear a pair of red-hot iron slippers and to dance in them until she drops dead. When the evil queen, finally defeated and dead, Snow White has taken her revenge, so her wedding to the prince peacefully continues. So that is the end of the story. I will be speeding up this bit now so that you can finally see the end of the build. I am going to be telling you whilst it's speeding up about the build and also what other things I'm going to be doing on my island. This island is not going to be a very long processed one, as it's going to be Halloween one, so I'm going to be doing some of the builds off camera and some of the builds on camera. If the builds are going to be so slow, you know, if they're so small, then I won't upload a video on them, but I will be posting them on my Instagram. And then hopefully I will be able to have the tour finished by about the middle of November, so that I can start my fairy core island, which I might just do as like loads of fairies and different magical creatures. So yeah, thank you. So I've actually decided to speed up the whole entire video, so it's like a speed build, and basically this is kind of the end of the video. I will be streaming soon, I don't know when, but I will, hopefully I would have streamed by the time this comes out. If not, then it's because my university is very, I'm very busy with my uni work at the moment, so I'm kind of putting that as first priority at the moment, because I really want to be a I want to be a moving pictures like director when I'm older, so yeah. But I'll try my hardest to upload as much content and hopefully do some, you know, some streams maybe in the near future. I think my first stream actually might be after I finish this island, so yeah, if you see my tour, then hopefully there will be a stream after that. So thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully you liked the story, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, bye channelings, bye!